On 3, 2, 1.
Baby, you know how it goes. It gets lonely in this bed alone. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Baby, you know how it goes. It gets lonely in.
Welcome back, Powerheads and Canaanites. Here we go. We're wrapping up the first season of Raising Kanan. Can you believe it? 10 episodes so far, man. We're ready to get into it. So, introducing my man, E-Dot. I'm your man, G-Money, manning all the mixing boards and editing equipment and everything else under the sun. It's my man, Dill.
It's a laptop.
Ah, okay. So, here we go. Man, we might as well call this episode The Block is Hot because your boy Kanan is panicking right about now. He's running around the streets with the unique jacket on, and he stumbles.
He fell and he scraped his hands up. And unfortunately, we have to hope that for his sake, they never find that little area where he fell, because obviously we're gonna know that the DNA is not gonna match Unique's DNA.
There you go. And we got more on that a little bit later. So now he's running around the street. He's supposed to get picked up by Uncle Marvin, but who shows up? It's Scrap Fury.
Scrappy with one eye.
Yeah, he picks him up, and of course he's his usual starchy self. You know, it sounds like they're almost getting ready to get mixed up again, you know, and all that stuff. But by the time the ride ends, and they're having to make a lot of detours because, like we said before, the block is hot. A cop has been shot. Yeah, everything is going crazy. They busting heads and all that stuff that happens when police officers get wounded or shot or killed. And so he gets dropped off eventually at his mom's house after they talk to Marvin. Marvin throws a little crack your boy Scrappy's way, saying he had to have do something for your mom. It required 2 eyes, you know, peripheral vision. Scrap was real appreciative, wasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely loved him for that comment.
Oh yeah, he's like, F you. Meanwhile, you know, he's out of there and whatnot. When they're talking to his mom, he's trying to wrap it up. And his mom is like, so did you do this? Did you do that? He's like, yeah, I walked by the bodega with the jacket. And she's like, so you shot him 3 times, right? And he said, yeah, 3, maybe 2.
We're gonna see that come back probably a little bit later on. But yeah, he said 3 real confident at first. He said, yeah, 3. And then he thought about it for a second, and he was like, maybe it was 2. And then when his mom started to question him about it, you saw him sort of double down. He's like, I put the man in the ground, like, you know, he thinks he got the job done because obviously Detective Howard was laid there bleeding from his mouth, which we know you don't typically come back from.
Well, apparently he didn't know because they're wheeling him into the emergency room. This dude has leukemia. He's got shot twice in the chest, and he's still in there pumping. So then, who's there in the hospital coming to visit Lou but Jessica and Famous?
And they see Detective Howard getting wheeled in, so they already know.
And right, so it's like, and I really think, man, you know, there's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not deception, but there's a lot of like secretive stuff that goes on an Illuminati type of level. And I really think, man, that it wasn't Busta Rhymes on Scenario. I think it was really Famous. Because if you notice how he spit, he was like, Detective Lyles out in the street. And I was like, touch it, bring it back on Maddie. I was like, where's your boy Split Star in the background doing his little dance and whatnot? He hit that straight up Busta flow.
He did hit that flow for a little bit. That's definitely like a Busta flow.
And we're bringing the crowd. That just tripped me the hell out. So I was like, okay, I guess that's Young Bust. And, you know, they had to give the Puerto Rocks a little credit for that. So I guess, Busta Rhymes really Puerto Rican. Let's move on from there. So anyway, so they roll him in there, man. You know, everybody is up in there. And this is one thing that was like, it was kind of bothering me a little bit because I don't remember them making that much of a fuss back in the 80s when a black cop got shot. You heard about it at his funeral.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't necessarily remember that time period too well. But from what I see nowadays, I would say, you know, I think the reaction would be very similar. There'd be a lot of people running in there just because of the simple fact that he is a police officer and a very well-known one at that point. You know, he'd worked his way up to being a detective, and not to mention you had a black captain that just got put in charge of that division. So
again, making no sense because we were talking about it before. they had a Filipino captain and whatnot, which was like unheard of, you know, that they're just expanding in New York at that time. And now they replace him with a black man. And it's like, see, a lot of that stuff, they're trying to combine it and they're not trying to make people focus on certain aspects of what was going on right then. But in reality, a whole lot of this stuff would not have gone down.
No, not at all. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But like I said, because they replaced him with a black captain, it only makes sense that you have all these police officers, regardless of race, running around in the streets. But when you see that, like, you know, when he said we're going to run like the tactical narcotics teams and all that kind of stuff, and you saw those guys that were going door to door in those black neighborhoods, they weren't black. They were a bunch of old school, country-fed white boys.
There you go. So, you know, that just didn't click for me. Because there would have probably been an association of black police officers that would have busted some heads, if anything. They're in the hospital. Baptiste introduces himself and he calms Bert the hell down. She's on a rampage and whatnot. You know, he's like, you know, yeah, you can go ahead and do your thing, but you're on a leash. And make sure you report back everything, you know, immediately to me. And she's like kind of crushed, you know, to find out he has leukemia and whatnot. But then you see the white guy in the background, the white police officer go, and I'm like, oh no. What happened to the discretion, Captain?
There was no discretion at all. I think it was pertinent information that should be told just due to the fact that he's got a lot going on. And, you know, at that point in time, we don't know what's going on. You know, we don't know what his prognosis or life expectancy is going to be. So sharing some of that information is going to, you know, give a little bit more clarity on the possibility that he doesn't make it, even though he got back to the hospital.
So we moving forward to your boy Marvin. Hey man, this is a love-hate situation. It's like, you know, you don't like him when he like really oversteps and does some whack stuff, but at the same time, you kind of understand when he does the whack stuff. But to be honest with you, as far as his MO, his modus operandi, he's like on it. Probably better than Raq, I would say at this point, because he's got this little thing where he goes up in there, he has like Tootsie Pop always in the mouth, and he's like, yo, I'm here to smell for the gas, and the dude is like, no way, you know, and the dude's like, okay, well, just sign this form right here.
Yep. I'm gonna put the liability on you if you don't want to let me up to the 14th floor.
He said as long as somebody doesn't light a cigarette or turn their stove on, should be fine.
It should be all right.
He's like, what are you talking about? You say, brother, gas explodes. So he goes up and he's going to plant the jacket. And he's planting the jacket, he gets in there and he's rolling out. And who comes up on the elevator?
Unique.
Timing, shit. So meanwhile, Raq has been trying to reach him. She gives him a mission to do, and she's busy interrupting his mission. You know, that's number one. And then later on, you know, he's getting out of there, and he gets pulled over by the rollers and whatnot because of Tony. So he gets pulled out of the car, almost gets shot, ends up being in the police station.
I don't know about you, but when they first pulled him in on that warrant, I said to myself, I was like, I thought it was going to be a BS warrant that was put out because, you know, they thought that the family was involved. And so they're like, you know what, let's just go put out some BS warrants on them we know that are kind of baseless, just so that we can pull them all in if we need to. But when we saw Tony, we all knew what it was. We knew exactly what it was.
But he saw Tony. And I was like, damn, that's your confidential informant that you're supposed to be hiding? And
she's walking through the station?
At the same time, and then he smacks her off with the insult of everything. She's like, that's your confidential informant? He's like, please, man, if you give her 8 ball, she'll let you hit it all night. And if maybe a little bit longer if you're a brother. She's like, F you, Margaret, you're a pig. So, man, I just thought that was just mad comedy. He's going to be out for 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Unfortunately, it's 5 seconds too late because they got him locked up in the bodega with Juke and whatnot. And so Raq can't reach him, and she has no idea where he's at. So she's got to call somebody. Who can she call?
The only person that was left that she could call, and that was Symphony.
Captain Eyebrows. You know it.
Yes.
So, you know, of course, you know, he loves the family. You know, he still loves Raq. You know, she's shitting on him. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, he comes up and he rescues him. And then he's got this look on his face, man, when he's driving and Kanan is, like, passed out in the seat. He's like, man, what has Raq gotten her son into or whatnot? So,
well, I mean, and that's the crazy part is that, you know, the fact that Raq would put her son in that position. I mean, you know, especially at that age, anybody could have walked up to Detective Howard and killed him wearing Unique's jacket, and it would have been all right, you know. But the fact that she made Kanan do it, I mean, because she could have told Detective Howard that Kanan was coming, and then somebody else just walked up in Unique's jacket, put 2 in his chest, and we call it a day.
Scrappy has no peripheral vision, so you got to watch that.
This is maybe not Scrappy, but you know. We could put some other people onto this, you know, onto that task, other than her son, because you know, I mean, that's capital murder.
But she also knows that he won't be prosecuted, or she's fairly confident, but she still don't know the deal that streets need some bone marrow.
She does not. Also, I do think the plan was a little bit ill thought out. If Neek was about to go murder a cop, you think he would do it wearing a jacket with his name on the back of it? I mean, it's like, I just don't think that if he was gonna go pull the trigger and put 2 in the chest of a cop, that he was gonna wear the jacket with his name on it.
But keep in mind also, they kind of set the pathway up with Juke telling Burke, you know, that Unique is gonna be gunning for him. So at least they got something that they're leading the cops towards and whatnot. Meanwhile, we're seeing throughout the whole thing that Burke is a rookie. She pulls up Laverne in the middle of the street, and she basically, as soon as the lesbian card comes into play, because what's this card right here? It says Laverne. She's like, okay, you can go now. We've got everything we need. And then when they roll up on the bodega, and I thought Juliana played her role. She was saying, you know, she gave a little information, made them work for the rest. But then it's like, what's the door with all the locks on it? And she's like, hey, what about the videotape? The videotape ain't going nowhere. We got a door with 15 locks on it in the back of your bodega.
But I mean, they're obviously right now they're super laser focused on finding out, you know, trying to figure out who killed, you know, who shot Detective Howard at the time. And that's why if you did hear, she said, we're gonna come back and we're gonna check out that room. It was kind of more so like, I have more pressing business to deal with right now than what's on the other side of that door. So she thought, because as she opened that door, she might not have had as much pressing business.
Yeah, so it's just getting crazy out here. Your boy Lulu's highly upset. Captain Toasty, he's like, "Oh, we got to get out of here." And right after I'm giving my boy some street cred because he's flowing like mustard. As soon as your boy Lulu rips the ID out of his arm, your boy Famous is like, "Ah!"
Yeah. He screamed like a little schoolgirl.
Yes. So yeah, he got him out of there. Then he's like, I don't think you should. Never mind. So yeah, they rolled out of there. They go in the street. They hit like Famous's cut bumping and stuff. The streets need a body and all that stuff. They all like super happy about that a little bit. But then they roll over there and he's like rolling up to there, Mr. Wheezy. And he's like, oh, Rod, what are you doing? So then they just get into it. She's like, you know, I need to talk to my brother a little bit. You know, they have the conversation. She puts him on Front Street. She's like, yo, this is what's happening. None of your shit is your shit. Your shit's my shit's your shit, and it's all our shit. So ain't nobody leaving or anything like that. You purchased your business through our drug money that I ran, so you ain't going nowhere. She pulled a big sis on him.
She said, I own the studio. I own the studio because it was purchased with the money that I made for us.
Yeah, so she felt like she had to take control, and understandably so. I mean, you know, she's the matriarch of the family. It's funny though, earlier when she was trying to get a hold of Marvin, she was all up in the church, and I thought that was a pretty good alibi. That's number one. But I noticed something funny, and maybe they'll allude to it later. Isn't that the hall where bingo, hey grandma, your boy?
It was the same exact place. So
Azuma Dean's church where he goes to bingo with his mama, his grandma.
Exactly. So I mean, it was definitely the same church. So I don't know if they were just reusing a set, thinking that we weren't going to pick up on it, or if there is another, you know, some more meaning to that. So, but we'll find out.
And how they gonna work that out? Because right now she's got flow. She's got flow because Joaquin turned on the faucet. All right?
Exactly.
And she's in there, so she's got a supply. So really, she doesn't want to get a Zumadine's supply unless, you know, your boy Joaquin is like turning on the faucet halfway or something like that. then maybe she'll have to do that. But for the most part,
but that's why I think that it was more so just a reuse of a set, thinking that we weren't gonna pick up on it.
Nah, man, they gonna come back to that. I'm sure of that next season. And you won your bet because you were like, Unique's gonna make it out of the first season. Now he's up there with the family and whatnot. They're trying to pack all their stuff and get out of Dodge. He goes in the closet. He sees his jacket. He sees blood stains on it. But then he has this look on his face because I don't think he initially remembered the door slamming in the hallway. And he's looking at his girl. Mm-hmm. And he looks kind of accusatory at his girl.
Oh, yeah. He actually uttered the words "dirty," and then before he could say the word that's
the B word.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend must be listening.
It's an itch with a B in front of it. Before he could say that, the cops knocked in. They beat down the door and they came in looking like Hut with the little helmets on and everything.
You're gonna burn. Now that sounds like what we would hear back in the day, or even now. Yeah.
Well, you shot a cop. You shot a cop. You gonna get the chair back then. That was just what's gonna happen.
So meanwhile, your boy Lou's back in the car and whatnot, and his girl was like, "You're better than them. You got a studio. You don't need any of this stuff. Yeah, shut up and drive."
Shut up and drive.
That was the end of that.
Shut up and drive.
Yeah, man. So we got all these different factors in play. Juke comes out and she's like, first of all, have you noticed Juke's new swag? She's like suave with it. She don't give a damn anymore. She like looking at people and stuff. She's like, I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing.
I think it's what we're gonna see leads Juke into the person that she became down the line. The crooked cop with the drug issues. I think it's a defense mechanism because she's hurting right now. And I don't think that's actually who she is. I think it's a defense mechanism because as we see, when she finally opens that card that was given to her, it was kind of like a lot, but she was breaking down. At the same time.
I think she was like, I saw joy on her face, bro. Because basically, anytime you're in a relationship, you know what the other person tells you. And now, her girl ain't around no more, and she knows exactly how her girl felt because she put it in words and whatnot. And she, I think it just took her to another level and help her resolve some of that situation as much as it could.
You can still break down in joy. I mean, think about it. Like when a man proposes to a woman and she's sitting there and she's crying, she's breaking down, but in joy, right? You see what I'm saying? So like, I think that was where it was coming from. It was coming from a place of pure endearment and love for, her girlfriend that's not there anymore.
Yeah, that's true. But then, the swag came back. And when she was locked up in the back of the bodega with Kanan, she went in on him, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
She's like, you're messing up. Everything you touch turns to crap. And Kanan's like, for real? And so this is fit for real now. She basically just says, but that's what it's supposed to be. You're a kid, all this stuff, this crazy stuff that's going on. It's not supposed to be happening, and she kind of like leaves him with I love you. And he says, I love you back. It was another kind of touching moment when Scrap Fury was dropping off your boy Kanan. And Kanan was like, look, man, I didn't really realize it for real. But, back at the stash spot, but you're one of the realest, man. And I just wanted to let you know. And Scrap said, hey, regardless of whose son you are, you're a real soldier. And no one could ever take that away from you. So I thought that was like, I'm glad they resolved that situation, man. They're going to be tight now.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish that, Scrap didn't have to lose his eye over them resolving the situation. and get the hell beat out of them. But yeah, they figured it out, and that was a cool moment for them. But we got to get into the hot topic and the hot scenarios that are going down in this episode. Let's get into the fact that and I will fully admit I was dead wrong. But who wakes up? Who wakes up? Detective Howard.
I mean, you gotta be wrong sometime. You're pretty on point.
I'm usually somewhat right. But
Detective
Howard did wake up though. He did wake up, and I was shocked.
Streets didn't get enough bone marrow.
Well, I mean, and being in the medical profession, seeing the blood coming out of his mouth, I took it on its literal value, and
esophagus is torn up. Lungs is torn up. But look, he lost a lung. He lost a lung. he lost part of his liver, and he lost his spleen. So it makes sense that he was early blood.
True, I'll give you that. I mean, I'll give them the medical, the medical pass on that one. But with everything that he had going on, plus the rare blood type, and how much blood he lost. See, because here's the other thing too. Let's just be honest. In the middle of that area, nobody was calling an ambulance with any type of speed. He would have laid there and bled out in real life.
Yeah.
911 was not getting called in that neighborhood.
And he wasn't going to call him because this is a clandestine meeting.
Exactly. Well, he couldn't call him because he was laid out, passed out at that point because he had lost too much blood. So he couldn't call 911.
Officer down.
Nah. He wasn't moving. When Kanan ran away, he wasn't moving anymore.
Yeah. He pretty much, you can count the 10 toes on the bottom of his feet. You want me to tell you why I 100% know that he's definitely going to survive? Because did you hear what the surgeon said? We got a team of surgeons there who's going to, because he said, is he going to make it? He said, we have a team of surgeons in there that we can say, we're going to give you the affirmative.
Well, he said, we have a team of surgeons who are working their hardest to make sure that we can, give you an affirmative. But I mean,
that's a lot. that's a lot, bro.
Here's the thing, though. This is what we do know. This is what we do have to know. We have to know that now that we know you woke up, that he did not implicate Kanan.
Yeah, because the show would be over.
Because, the show would be over, or we'd have never had Kanan in power because he would have gotten picked up. There's no way he would have made it that long.
Tried as an adult, possibly hung. I mean, not hung, you know what I'm saying? Put to death.
Yeah, exactly. You got the chair of the needle. So, there's no way that, now that we know that he's up, there's no way that he implicated Kanan in that.
So he has to pick Neek.
He's got to say it was Neek. Yeah. It's tough.
Because streets need a bone marrow. I'll take a double, please. Man, so yeah. I don't know. He might come after Raq. Who knows if once he gets better and whatnot. Get a couple of Band-Aids on him.
No, I completely agree. I think that was it was very Power-esque in the type of cliffhanger that they left us with because we got some time before we're back. I do give the writers, I give them a lot of kudos for not rushing through this particular part of the backstory, right? I think this did need another season. Otherwise, it'd have been rushed. There's a lot.
It's going to be like 5 or 6. It's going to be like 5 or 6. Which color though, man? Here's the deal. Whose blood is it on that jacket? That's
Kanan's blood.
Yeah. So they won't even know what
from when he scrubbed his. Yeah.
They won't even know what to do. All they know is that Kanan was in proximity. Well, here's the deal. Kanan has no blood samples on file.
Yeah, but what they will know is that if Neek gives them a DNA sample, that it's not going to be a match. So they're going to know that Neek's not the one.
Let's back that up because the blood sample that he would not have would not be Detective Howard's.
Yeah, no, I know. So what I'm saying is that I don't think they're even going to test the blood sample on the jacket because they're going to be too gung-ho at, we got him running away, especially now that you got Detective Howard saying, he's got to implicate Neek, right? Got to. So, I think they're just going to run with it and not test it because if they test it, they're going to learn that it's not Detective Howard's or Neek's. And that's going to be a problem.
That's true.
That's going to be a serious problem if it's not either one of theirs.
I guess they got to go to the streets to get blood.
We're going to see.
Streets got the bone marrow. They got the blood.
Whoa. Actually, think about this. If they do test it, it's going to be a 50% match to Detective Howard.
Oh.
So they might actually think...
It is his blood.
Yeah, they might think that it is his blood.
Whoa.
Because it's a 50% match.
Whoa.
It's going to be a 50% DNA match. And they're going to say it could have gotten contaminated enough.
By Neek's blood.
It could have got contaminated by Neek's blood. It could have got contaminated by just other natural elements, around because it wasn't preserved. That a 50% match and no one knows that he has a son out there. They're going to think, okay, it's a 50% match. It got contaminated. This is Detective Howard's blood.
So I guess, once he shot him, he kind of rubbed his sleeve in it like, you take that. Yeah. I guess Detective Burke will be in charge of collecting that evidence.
No, the football team that came through Neek's front door, they're the one that's in charge of that evidence because they saw the jacket. Yeah. So, they got it.
You know, there's gonna be some EDTA containing blood samples, which stored stuff straight from the OJ trial. Yeah, Mark Furman is gonna be mixing stuff up in the lab.
Of course.
Who knows? That was pretty fire, man. I liked the whole season. Pretty much enjoyed it. Did you get a chance to peek out the BMF?
I have not gotten a chance to peek out BMF yet. Been a pretty busy weekend for me. That was definitely on my list of things to do, but it's probably going to get taken down as soon as we get off of this off this show. I'll probably pull it up and see how that looks.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, man, it's been a pleasure working with you guys. I really appreciate all your hard effort, going into the season and multiple seasons, and I really appreciate y'all. Thanks for joining me. Everybody out there, I appreciate you for tuning in. Please like and follow us, and we will be back in November. But guess what? You'll still be hearing some more from Van Daber in the meantime. Love y'all. Signing out for my man E. Dot. My man Dylan, this is the season finale. You got to say something for real.
Got another good one in the bags. Well done, gentlemen.
I'll take that.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, gentlemen. Love y'all. Have a great one. Keying in for the season finale. So, ready to do this?
Sure am.
I don't know, Eric. Doesn't sound like you committed. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm always ready to go. I always come prepared.
Ready. That's what's happening. All right, cool. So, on 3, 2, 1.